Okay, so you're familiar with the overall anatomy of the Holga. Now let's load it, okay? So again, this is not a 35mm camera. This is a 120 camera or a medium format camera, right? So we're gonna use some 120 film, some medium film, right? Okay, and I will load my camera with some Portra 800 as a demonstration. Now, I'm gonna flip our camera to the back, right? I want to unlock the back, then take off the back panel. First and foremost, you're gonna make sure you are setting it to 12, right? And we'll get into why in a second. And then you want to make sure not only is the mask on, but the spool is on the right side, okay? Now, I like to advance my film, or my spool, I should say, to the point where you kind of have that slit, right, in your spool. I want it to be facing, for the most part, me, or up to the sky, really. So, okay, once that's good to go, you're gonna open up. Okay, now, bring this back in a second, but you'll notice it's pretty tightly wound, right? So you want to be very careful when you actually take off the adhesive, right? So when I take off the adhesive, just gonna rip it off. Okay, so I'm gonna take off the adhesive, and I'm going to keep some pressure on so that, right, I don't let this thing just spiral out and then, you know, reveal, flash some light to the inside. So I want to make sure I find this tab right here, right? So when it's folded, you want to slowly, just slightly get this portion out, okay? Now, bring the camera back in. I'm going to load this side into this portion right here. Okay. Now, still keep some pressure on it so that it does not unwind itself. So, you want to stick this tab into that slit, right? So, okay. Once you have it in that slit, try to apply some pressure with this hand while you kind of advance the film. That way it kind of stays on. You kind of feed it some film too. And if you did it right, you should be able to advance it, right? See how I can advance my film. So once you got that going, I want to put this back on. Okay, lock it up. Make sure you lock it up. Right, make sure you locked it up. Make sure, right, we want the arrow pointing at 12 to remind us we have 12 exposures, right? We have 12 photographs to take. I know it might seem a little confusing because we have 16 next to the open window, so you might think, oh gee, I have 16 photographs. Well, no, really the arrow is telling us we have 12, okay? So now you want to focus on the inside because we're not ready to actually take any photos yet, right? So, and I'm going to keep advancing the film until we see a 1, okay? Okay, so we see an arrow, which means we should probably slow it down and be very careful to not overshoot the 1. Okay, so keep going. All right, now you might have a hard time reading it, but it says Kodak. Okay. And then there we go. It says a little 1, right? It kind of just looks like a little hash, but it does say 1. All right. And now we're ready to shoot.